of this, you had a bunch of white people who just literally felt the whole thing was too black. They didn't want to relate. They couldn't relate. They're too, couldn't see the screen through their hood. But then, you have people like, and I kind of fell into this camp. I'm like, going into this, I heard he might not do Not Like Us.
Yeah.
And so from the second he comes on, the only thing in my mind is I'm watching and go, well, you going to do it? You going to do it?
Yeah.
And whatever. And so I was so fixated on that like by the time he finally did it, it was like, all right, you teased me along too damn long. Whatever. And so I wasn't like blown away by it, but it was because like I had this like tease in my head about what we're going to do or not do.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a subliminal guy.
Yeah.
And the reality is that's what Kendrick is.
Bad game, especially for us viewers. We wanted a more competitive game. But what we did get was an interesting, to say the least, halftime show. Now, you got, Super Bowl halftime is always divisive, right? You got people who love it, people who hate it. Everybody's going to have something to say. So you got the Kendrick Lamar's, like, fans and the hip-hop and all of that. They're saying, this was one of the best shows ever. You guys just don't understand the message. It's the message you got to understand. And then you got the people on the far other side, whether it may be Drake fans or just people who are not that in tune with that sort of performance. They're saying it's bad. One of the worst things they ever saw. It was boring. They fell asleep. I fall right in the middle myself. I thought it was fine. I thought the halftime show was fine. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was the greatest thing I ever saw. I did see a live boob on my screen at one point during the halftime show in my lifetime. So it's kind of hard to beat that.
Oh. I thought you saw in this Super Bowl. I missed that. I got to rewatch.
You got to rewatch now, right? So I thought it was a fine performance. Now, you want anything to add to that before I get to
I was going to say a couple things. So, okay, so I think, like your hip hop heads and your kind of like knowledge guys.
Yeah.
They're good. They love this. This was really exceptional for them.
Yeah.
And I get where they're coming from. But on the other side, whether you have like Drake fans or you have people that are just literally there to be amused.
Yeah, and entertained.
And you have the white people who just felt it was too black.
I saw.
That's a legitimate.
I did see some of that. I did see some of that.
So of this, you had a bunch of white people who just literally felt the whole thing was too black. They didn't want to relate. They couldn't relate. They're too, couldn't see the screen through their hood. But then, you have people like, and I kind of fell into this camp. I'm like, going into this, I heard he might not do Not Like Us.
Yeah.
And so from the second he comes on, the only thing in my mind is I'm watching and go, well, you going to do it? You going to do it?
Yeah.
And whatever. And so I was so fixated on that like by the time he finally did it, it was like, all right, you teased me along too damn long. Whatever. And so I wasn't like blown away by it, but it was because like I had this like tease in my head about what we're going to do or not do.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a subliminal guy.
Yeah.
And the reality is that's what Kendrick is. He's just deeply versed in messaging and subliminal and subtle things that I'm just not there. Now, when like the day later, when people are posting what all the nuances of the performance, like, oh, that's intriguing. That's really kind of, it's almost like the performance elevates in the explanation, but it didn't necessarily elevate in the moment, in the real time.
Yeah, in the moment. And one mistake I do think he made is you got to open with something that people know. Now I understand building the anticipation for the song. That was fine to me, but just open with a song that people know. And
live music, I'm not here for anticipation.
Okay.
I've been to concerts.
Yeah.
And one of my least favorite things when you go to a concert
Save the best songs for last?
Well, no, not even that.
Oh, okay.
Like before the main person comes on, you got the DJ or the opener going, the opener. Are you ready for? It's like, motherfucker,
that's why I'm here.
I got dressed up. I spent a couple $100 and I'm here. What the fuck am I here for? If not that. Like, so I'm not an idiot. Like, this is why we're fucking here.
No, 100%.
I mean, just think if your favorite girl treated you that way.
Oh no.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
she's
I don't like teasers.
Are you ready for this pussy? But you don't get it for another hour.
We don't like teasers.
Come on.
No,
man.
we don't like teasers. So, another hour or another 2 months. Both are just as bad, as in my opinion.
When I walk through the door, I'm ready for action.
Now you have that, and that's on the Kendrick side. Now, what I did not like is the Serena Williams part of this whole thing you put together. Now, there's two things here, right? And one of the part of the hidden messages is they're calling it two exes with SZA and Serena, two people that Drake have put in his music, as you know, recently had dealings with in the past, but they weren't exes; they were just women that he smashed. You know,
right.
It's just Serena and SZA were just women that he smashed and along his warpath. You know, now
it was a warpath.
If you hear the story, it's definitely a warpath.
Now, and I agree with you because like as soon as I saw this, all this stuff was like, you know, his ex Serena. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, because that makes a difference in my eyes.
They might have played around a little bit, but it's not a relationship. Like, you know, that's a whole. To be an ex, you have to have like some semblance of like a real relationship. And if you're like a celebrity type person, it almost has to be like a known. This is my person.
Yeah.
For at least some stretch of time.
Now, the two things with Serena is, number one, like, I don't care what BS statement you come out with afterwards and all. You did this to get back at Drake. I mean, it kind of is what it is, okay? And whether that's wrong or right, I'm not here to say whether it's wrong or right. I'm just here to call BS on your statement. It's to pile on Drake and get back at Drake, and Drake has said stuff about your current husband and things like that, and my thing is like, yo, it's first of all, it's been over 10, 15 years. Like, it's time to let that go. You're married to a whole nother person, and this is just time to let that go, man. Let that hurt go. I mean, you know, if he smashed a bunch of other women when he was with you and this and that, that's the time to handle that was a long time ago. And then secondly, you had something to go on?
Well, I was gonna say though, like again, if Drake's dropping her and the husband in the music, I think it's fair game to go back.
Yeah, but that wasn't yesterday. That still was years ago. Right. Like, all of this is years ago, is what I'm saying. That's my whole point to all of it. Yeah, this is not even a new song or a part of this beef thing at all. Like, that was years and years ago when they had that. And then on top of that, the world doesn't understand. Like, you're doing this the Crip dance and then they're the ones that killed your sister, and you came on and you're crying and you can't get over it, and these people, the Crip gangsters killed your sister and this and that, and you're all here doing, they're essentially their celebration of a dance. Like, you wanted to get back at Drake so bad that you don't even care how silly you look doing a dance from the people that killed your sister. That's just, I don't know, that's silly to me. Wrong or right, I'm not the arbiter of that. I'm sure I said that word wrong, but it's silly. It's all just, it's silly to me.
Yeah, I didn't take it as deeply, and you were the one that told me about the Crip Walk thing. I mean, just kind of discussing what she kind of claimed as her thing. She did do a Crip Walk back at I think it was Wimbledon or one of the tennis tournaments back in the day when she was active player. And the way she spun it is that, hey, I was invited to do this. When else am I going to get a chance to dance at the Super Bowl? Let's do it. And just it was almost like there wasn't a lot of thought on her part, was the narrative that she gave. Now, the fact that she doesn't associate the Crip Walk with the people that killed her sister, and she already did this not just for Drake, but at Wimbledon many years ago, I mean, that does speak to like just a level of, I don't really think this through, and I'm just acting in the moment.
Yeah, and not only that, but like, I understand that's what women do. Like,
They don't often think things through.
Well, not just to thinking things through, but like from a spiteful point. Like, and I understand, like, if you hurt a woman, then you have to be prepared for whatever they come back with, and this is a part of that, which is all fine, right? But just to not, she's not connecting the dots with the dance but that's like fucking nationally known. Like you can't like not connect those dots because people that live billions of miles from that area knows that dance is connected to that group of people. It's like it's not even a fucking secret. You know what I mean? Like it's just a world known thing. So her not connected, that's not even possible. Like it's not. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying it's a BS statement. She could have came out and just said the truth. Like, you know, I'm dancing. Yeah, I wanted to dance at the Super Bowl, but I wanted to dance to the song where they're calling my ex a pedophile because it's funny and it's fun, and I want to help pile in on it.
Has she like made statements publicly about like being really damaged by Drake?
Damaged? No, of course not damaged. But she's come out and talk about, you know, they've asked her questions when Drake had mentioned her husband and things like that, and just talking about Drake in general when they asked about the so-called relationship or what they had or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What has she kind of said in that regard, though?
Like I said, it's been so long ago. I don't even. I don't know.
I guess. I mean,